All right, you guys, I got cut off on the other video, so here we go. I was talking about body paragraph one, okay, and I said in the other video that your topic sentences or the topics for your body paragraphs need to be the topics that you've mentioned in your thesis. So, first reason that I mentioned was it could lead to obesity. So, my body paragraph number one needs to be about how technology can lead to obesity. Okay, so I put my topic sentence. Spending too much time on technology increases the risk of becoming obese. When I moved to my citation with tag, I just went and I copied from my pro con chart. I copied the citation or the quote that supports my topic of technology leading to obesity. So I have that. And then here for thoughts for elaboration. So on the pro con chart after a citation, we should have explained like this is important because, yeah, well, that part is going to be for your thoughts for elaboration. Okay, so that whatever you wrote there, that's what's going to go in your thoughts for elaboration. Okay, now when we get to writing the actual paragraphs, your thoughts for elaboration should be at least 3 sentences long, and there's another outline to kind of help you create that. Okay, which we'll talk about on day 4. So, moving down to body paragraph number 2. So again, my body paragraph number 2, my topic sentence should be. Let me go up here. My second reason was that it could cause sleep problems. So my body paragraph number 2, my topic sentence, it's going to be about um, that. Okay, so I say too much technology could also cause sleep problems. And then I basically do the same thing. I go up to my pro con chart, I copy the citation that supports this this topic sentence, and I want that to be not that one. I want it to be the same color. So um okay, so I go and I copy the citation that supports this right here statement that I'm making, that too much technology could also cause sleep problems. And then this is important because that's going to be pasted for thoughts for elaboration. Moving down to paragraph 3. So body paragraph 3 is something that we didn't get to before school got canceled. Okay, so I wanted to spend a little bit more time on body paragraph number 3. So this is a special paragraph because it is called the counter argument paragraph. Okay, so in our counter argument paragraph, we need to address the viewpoint of the opposition. So what that means is you're going to say what the other side thinks. For example, some people argue that spending time on technology helps children become multitaskers. Where did I get this idea? Well, I'm gonna go up to my pro con chart, and I actually got that idea from my yellow. Okay, so because my whole essay is going to side with the blue, with the pro. Okay, the opposition viewpoint is going to be the opposite of me, which is going to be in this case the yellow. Okay, so if you're on your essay, you're arguing that technology should not be limited. Your opposition viewpoint is the blue. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so it's the opposite of whatever you're arguing. Okay, so here I put that I had put that research also indicates that apps and games enhance kids' ability to multitask. This is a good reason why we should not place a limit on technology for kids. Okay, that is the opposition viewpoint. So going back to the outline, that is what I put here. Okay, some people argue that spending time on technology helps children become multitaskers. Okay, that is the opposition, that is the opposite viewpoint about what I'm arguing. Then we have here this thing called the rebuttal. And basically the rebuttal is you're going to knock down the opposition's viewpoint. So you're going to state why this reason is not a good reason. Okay, so I put here. However, if children are constantly interrupted with technology, say they're texting while at the same time doing another task, it can cause exhaustion and stress on the brain when they're switching their attention back and forth between the task and their phones. So again, the opposing side says no, technology is good because they can become good multitaskers. But my rebuttal is saying, well, actually, if they're multitasking and they're doing, they're on their phones and they're also doing this and then they're also doing that, that actually causes exhaustion and stress on the brain. So it's not necessarily a good thing. Okay, so I knocked down whatever I refuted whatever the argument here was. Okay, which is that it's good for become helping kids become multitaskers. And then what I'm gonna do now is oh, and by the way, um, I got this information here by not only the looking at the yellow side on the con chart, but I also my citation here is also from the third reading that I did. Okay, so I put here in the article, electronic devices affect the brain, but do you know how? The author states, and then I put my quote. It's common for one thing to be interrupted multiple times by messages. Then you restart whatever you were doing. That's when we get a particular kind of exhaustion. We pay a price when we tear our attention from one task and put it onto another and then go back and focus on what we were doing before. Okay, so that's basically saying this whole idea of becoming good multitaskers. It's not actually, it causes the brain to kind of stress out because you're trying to focus on too many things at the same time. Okay, so that is the quote that I found, and that was on the third article that I read. Okay, and then here I just do the same thing as I would with my other. I'd put this is important because, and then, I explain why it's actually important to just, have your attention on one thing versus, too many things at once. Okay, lastly, the conclusion. The conclusion is we begin by restating the thesis in different words. Okay, so technology use doesn't just affect a person's body weight, it can also cause sleep problems and can exhaust the brain, just in different words. And then ideas for addressing the reader. So this was, we called it the call to action. Okay, so I just put some ideas down. Instead of spending over 2 hours on advice, it'd be a good idea to turn off the phones and spend some time outdoors or find some volunteer work to help your community. How about enjoy some time out with friends, or even limit your technology use for less than 2 hours a day. Okay, so those are just some ideas that I could write when I address my reader. Again, this is like the call to action. And then the last thing is our sinker. Our sinker has to tie back to a hook. So because I began with a series of questions, I'm going to end with a question. If you began with an anecdote, okay, that's the short story, then you're going to end the essay by going back again to that short story. If you began with a quote or fact, go back and address that fact, okay? So if you began with an emotional appeal, go back to that emotional appeal. So you're tying it back to however you began your essay. So my sinker is now, are you willing to prioritize your health over technology? Okay, because I decided to begin with a series of questions. All right, you guys, that was it for day 3.